gosh. Okay. Alright, listen. First of fucking all, happy Black History Month, everybody. I know this that month where shit in the black community gets real. Okay. And I feel like this month has really given me a beautiful gift. And I have to say, I'm amazed. Now, I'm just going ahead and say this. I'm not going to be doing a regular review on this show because most of it is on YouTube Red, and I'm not falling for that money scamming shit. I'm not here for it. But I really do want y'all to go on ahead, if you haven't already, to go and watch this show called Step Up High Water. When I literally just watched this show, and I just finished watching the first 4 episodes for free on YouTube, and I'm gonna go search through the internet to watch the next 6, because bish, this show is good. Okay, this is a good ass show, and I advise y'all to go and watch this shit. Like, it's fucking amazing, and just the fact that I've learned so much fucking life lessons within 4 episodes without them necessarily saying it, it's fucking ridiculous. It's ridiculous in a good fucking way though. Like, bitch, it got Lauren McLean, the middle sister of the McLean sisters. It got Neo. It even got fucking Naya Rivera from Glee, bitch. Oh my goodness! I think that's how I discovered the show. It was a few hours earlier, and I discovered the show because I was researching the Glee cast to see what their thoughts was over the whole situation with Mark Salling and everything, and I looked up in the captions that she started this new Step Up TV show, and I'm like, girl, they actually made a TV show about this shit, and I thought it was gonna be straight trash, but this show is good. It's very interesting. It got a bitch hooked. It got a bitch shooked. It got a bitch booked. And it got a bitch looking. Okay? I am shooked as all that is motherfucking get out. So I'm just going ahead and try to briefly explain the first 4 episodes, and then I'm gonna let y'all go ahead and watch them on YouTube. And if y'all got YouTube Red accounts, then y'all can be able to hopefully be able to watch the rest of the episodes. And if not, then when I find the rest of the episodes, I will definitely make another video to review all of them in advance. So we start off with the main characters, Lauren McLean, who plays this girl named Janelle, and her brother Tal, who ends up moving to Atlanta, Georgia with their uncle after their mother got recently arrested and whatnot for drug use and stuff. So they're pretty much just trying to start anew and everything, and Janelle ends up getting an info on this new dance school or institution called Highwater, which is part of the show. So at that point, she ends up pretty much going into the system, and she tries to audition, and at the last minute she ends up not getting into the school, only because her final project or her final audition ended up becoming sabotaged by this bitch named Rigo. And I'm gonna get on his ass in a second. And this hating ass bitch named Poppy, I guess. I don't know. But anywho, at that point, she ends up trying to figure out how to get herself, busy now that she's not in the school. And then meanwhile, we get Tall. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't know who the actor who was playing Tall, but when I looked up that the guy was Patrice Jones. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right. He looks like a motherfucking snack. Okay? Patrice, you just cute. I ain't gonna lie. Even though you were a bit too skinty for me, shit. From the count of how cute your ass was, I might make an exception. But anywho, Tall, he's pretty much the older brother who's, taking care of Janelle and shit, and he's gay. So I found that shit out right from the jump when he is like, okay, so he's like he's those type of gay guys where it's like they're somewhat closeted, but they can be open, but he's like the very shy type. I don't know how else to really put it, but that's just how it is. So he ends up realizing that he has this gift of dance and that dancing really makes him happy, because before he was miserable because he went to this school where he got tortured by this guy named Markel, who's this crazy motherfucker who ends up just doing a lot of crazy stuff, and he ends up having beef with him that nearly almost costed him and his sister's life. After Tall went on ahead and threw a brick at his car window, and he ended up getting chased around the city after he got jumped by Marcus or Marquise or whatever in episode 2 or 3. And at that point, after he got chased down, he ends up running over to Highwater, the same school that Janelle tried to get into. And he did this bomb-ass performance that ended up getting him in the school. So throughout his process of being in the school, he's slowly processing the institution and the social aspects of the school. And he ends up making a connection with Poppy, who is Rigo's ex-girlfriend, who got beef with Janelle because of some jealousy shit that bitch ain't nobody got time for. So they end up bonding after she needed him to know how to do the motherfucking tap dance class, and he needed to know how to fit into the school better by trying to get into his inner hip-hop, his inner black. Because him and Janelle, they both came from Iowa, so they weren't really, they didn't get their black cards, accepted. They just had it purchased and everything. So, they bond over that, and at that point, I'm sitting here like, really? I already know where this shit is going between them. They eventually gonna fall in love because the bitch desperate, and she looking for a man since Rigo is a selfish-ass bitch. And let me get on Rigo's ass real quick. I don't fucking like him. He is a selfish-ass bitch boy who just give no fucks about anybody but himself. And this is how I know. When I first saw him, I thought that he was going to be Janelle's main love interest for the show, but I quickly underestimated that crap when I find out that he's only using her just to test her out to see if she's really qualified. And when he saw her dance, he felt threatened because he has this reputation where he's the best guy in school and that he's the coolest kid in the hood. And then when Janelle shows up and show her her moves and stuff, he got in his feelings. So he ended up getting into a plan with this kid named King, who is crippled, where this guy literally has no legs. They end up devising a plan to sabotage her whole audition process, which was why she didn't get into the school in the first place. So then he ends up getting into connections with Sage, who is the founder and creator of the Highwater School, and is a multi-billionaire and is a singer and artist or whatever. So they clicking or whatever. He's pretty much kissing his ass just to get his 15 seconds of fame. And my whole thing is, boy, stop it, cause you're making yourself look dumb and thirsty, and I'm just not here for it. And then on top of that, you in the middle of the crossfire between Sage and your father, because Sage got beef with his father because they used to be partners back in the day. And after Sage got into an issue, his father named East O ended up having to kill a motherfucker just so Sage can be famous and get out from the hood and make money and stuff. But then East O gets in his feelings when Sage dumps him for fame. So pretty much Easton is in his feelings because he feels like that he was abandoned by his best friend and that he neglected where he came from, which is remotely true and what most artists do. But at the end of the day, you gotta understand that you can't bring your friends from the hood with you once you become famous, and that's just a hereditary rule. But the fact that Sage is using people just to have his own way is fucked up. And then we get Naya fucking Rivera. Naya Rivera plays this teacher named Colette, and she's pretty much the head of the school, and she got a little dirt history on herself. She got this romantic affair with East O. They used to fuck and all that shit back in the day until Sage came into the picture, and her and him collaborated on creating the school so that they can go on ahead and help out the students become, successful dancers and whatnot. And since she's fully aware of the beef that they got going on, she tried to put her affair with East O on the down low, but East wasn't having it. He wants to get that kush. He wants to get some, he wants to, tap that ass real quick, He wants to get some play, you know what I mean? He wants to get his shit on. But she's like, no, don't fucking go there, okay? Sage is in town, and we just need to keep our affair on the down low. I don't need him knowing that we together and shit. So I already know where the fuck that shit's gonna go. So then we get these two other dance students named Davis and Odelie. They pretty much end up becoming friends with Janelle when she first applied to the school. And they were clicking it up at first until Janelle ended up hanging out with Rigo and shit. And they felt some type of way about it. And they ended up dumping her for a little bit until they eventually forgave each other, and then she tries to warn them about Rigo using them to get his way to get them kicked out of the school since he's already succeeded with Janelle. So at that point, they end up bonding, and they ended up celebrating after they got accepted into the school, and they end up having sex. So at that point, they're pretty much just, their whole storyline together is just them struggling to keep their personal feelings from business. It's like business versus pleasure type storyline with them, because Davis is homeless and he's trying to get into the school so that he can be able to be successful and raise money so that he can go on ahead and help his brother out with, help get his brother full custody so that they can live together. And Odelia is this rich bitch who's just into the school pretending to be an underprivileged student just so she can be treated as a regular artist. So I suppose. So then Odelia ends up falling for Rigo after he offered her a spot to come, hang out with him so that she can get a little taste of some of the fame that Sage is giving to him. And that's when I come into saying that I do not feel any type of way for Odelia because she is a fake ass bitch. How you gonna sit here and get mad at fucking Janelle for doing something that you assumed with Rigo and then turn around and do the same thing? And it's funny because later on in episode 4, when Janelle ends up going to her GED classes to get a GED and stuff, and she meets this stripper who ends up helping her organize this little dance event that she has going on at the gymnasium, and Odelia and Rigo shows up. Janelle's like, I don't know, y'all. Get the fuck out of my party. Y'all ain't invited. Scat. Bye-bye. I'm like, you're damn right. You're damn right. Cause bitch, it wouldn't been me. Cause I would have literally went the fuck off on both of them. How dare you sit here? Like, bitch, I tried to warn you about this motherfucker and you did not listen with your fake, thirsty ass. I do not, bitch, bye. Okay? So, anywho, there's that. So then, we get into the end of the 4th episode, and it ends up with DeAndre, who is Tall and Janelle's neighbor, and he's pretty much gay as well, or at least I feel like he might be gay. And he's probably just he's one of those closeted gays that just tries to hide his sexuality by dating women, but I know he fucks dudes on the down low. I know that shit for sure. I mean, come on now. They're in Atlanta. They're in the land of the hoes and the tricks and the bodies. Okay. So, he ends up bonding with both of them. He first bonds with Tall after Tall, opens up about his rough experience with getting used to Atlanta and his issues with Marquise and everything. And turns out that DeAndre and Marquise know each other. And I'm sitting here like, that might be a speculation. But, DeAndre ends up telling Marquise to back off on both of them. And speaking of Marquise, that's some crazy ass motherfucker. But anywho, then he, starts bonding with Janelle more, and they both end up bonding more romantically than I thought. And I'm sitting here like, nigga, she's still in high school. She's not even a full-time college student, and you a grown-ass man. And I'm just, Anywho. Like, so, it ends off with the little gymnasium party that Janelle hosted, being successful and whatnot. And she pretty much congratulates him, and they pretty much ended up kissing and whatnot, and then they just started making out. He took his shirt off and shit, and then, they was about to get it in. And then Tall comes home after he leaves from his tap dance class, and he's over here on Instagram posting the video of him and Poppy, dancing and training to do the hip-hop moves and stuff. And he walks in on the both of them, and I already know that Tall is already in his motherfucking feelings. But I feel like he's really not in his feelings about the fact that his sister, who was in high school, is fucking a grown-ass man. I feel like he's more in his feelings because his crush, DeAndre, is fucking his sister and not him. And this is how I knew that he had a crush on old Dion, on Homeboy. Because in the very first episode, he pretty much was spying, like he was on some real stalking shit when it came to DeAndre. Because when him and Janelle moved in, he was every night he would be spying on DeAndre through his window. First time he was dancing, DeAndre was dancing in the middle of the street, and Tom was checking him out and admiring his moves. And then the second time he was watching him through his window and shit, and DeAndre was shirtless, and he was really into it. Like the second time he was really into it. Like I could kind of tell by his facial expressions that he was inspired by his dance moves, while at the same time, I could tell that, he was getting hard a little bit because of, how nice and good looking DeAndre was, and I ain't gonna lie, bitch, I felt the same way too, baby girl. But anywho, yeah, so that's how I figured that he already had a crush on Homeboy. And I can tell that the 5th episode, when I find it, that it's gonna be some fuck shit, because it's gonna be that, and then it's gonna be, I bet he's probably gonna go on ahead and end up fucking Poppy just to get back at DeAndre and Janelle for hurting his feelings and whatnot. And then not DeAndre, but Rigo and Odelia, or whoever the bitch name is probably gonna end up fucking, cheating on Davis and shit, and that's gonna make their relationship complicated. King is probably gonna end up becoming famous in his tracks because King he was mistreated and nobody took him seriously and whatnot, and how he was invisible. But he's probably gonna drop a track on these hoes. And Sage, I don't know about Sage because he's stupid, but that was Step Up High Water. I strongly recommend that y'all go ahead and watch this show. Again, the first 4 episodes are free on YouTube, and you can get the rest of the show on YouTube Red. If you don't have an account for YouTube Red and you actually trust that shit, then I advise you to go ahead and get it so that you can watch the next episodes, because I'm not getting on YouTube Red. I do not trust that shit. So I'm going to go and find the video somewhere else, and I'm going to watch it from there, and I'm going to do the rest of my reviews from there. Okay? Okay. Again, this was a good-ass video. I was shooked. This show gave me every motherfucking thing, and y'all just need to watch this shit. Okay? Alright. Bye, y'all. What?